Fuck it. We'll just go with it. Hey everyone. You can see everything. Green screen, background. Which means it's another update video. I'm going to talk about what's been going on. A little bit, but not. I'm not going to go in too far in depth in it with it right now, because that's for later on. Sorry about that. Anyway, um, I've been dealing with some shit, and some of that shit that I've been dealing with gotten better as I just got out of a shower. Let me repeat that again. I just got out of a shower at home. That isn't everything, but that is a big part of why I have not been posting and doing anything for since about the beginning of February. I had spent about 6 weeks worth of cleaning, and I took a week off for working on a bunch of remodel stuff for the warehouse. And so that is where a lot of my attention has been focused for a while. And I have just recently gotten back into trying to do streaming stuff, as well as dealing with like some other things that we're not gonna touch base on. But getting back into streaming, we're not gonna do multi streaming with YouTube, because some of the games I want to play are going to go against TOS for some things that I may or may not have to cut out. I don't know exactly for sure. That's something we gotta kind of play by ear. But we will continue doing streams on Twitch and Kick. I want to get those back up and running again. And things are going to change as far as YouTube goes, specifically with content that I get uploaded. And what I mean by that is I'm no longer going to differentiate the two, right? So I'm not going to have content only for YouTube, and I'm not going to have content only for Twitch for live stream. I'm just going to have everything be together, mostly focusing on the live streaming, and then just having it uploaded for YouTube. Whether I like chop it up, break it into smaller sections, I don't know exactly for sure how I'm going to break that up just yet. Because before I was debating on like doing like shorter, like 15-minute videos, or because I don't want to do like the full unedited VOD. I don't want to do like the full unedited VOD. Just uploading those. So I don't know. I got stuff recorded for Bad Cheese that was before I took the break that I was going to get uploaded. Never got around to it. So Bad Cheese is going to come out soon. When I get around to that. But also starting to play Baldur's Gate 3 as the Dark Urge run on live streams. So you guys can catch that whenever, because though streams times are changing quite a bit as well, as far as that goes, due to the part of the reason why I like stepped away for a bit. Not because of the remodel. The remodel happened in conjunction with me stepping away. That was a separate issue that I was going to have to step away for in the first place, but there were other things that predated that by about a month. Plan is we're back, more or less. Streams are not going to be scheduled. They're going to be just kind of what feels right with me. Try to do them as often as I can, but if my schedule can't dictate it for one reason or another, I'm not going to put that extra burden on myself to not have that be an extra factor weighing me down. Is really what that's going to boil down to. A lot of it's going to start about the same time it has been starting, maybe a little bit earlier, maybe a little bit later. Just really depends on, like I said, everything else going around my day-to-day. And then what I do for whatever stream, I'll break up into like some sort of segmented thing to upload for YouTube. So a lot of YouTube stuff is going to be more stream oriented instead of being directly focused at YouTube specific stuff in that way. And I know I missed last month for the lawnmower vlogs, and I'm going to miss this month as well. Part of that is specifically because of this video. So really, instead of getting the 2 separate lawnmower vlogs that I still want to do, we're going to get both months for March and April in this video, more so, because of how much I have done. I have done so much. So, kind of put in perspective, and after I'm done talking about this, I'm going to just play the stream clip for all of it, because I talked about it a little bit more in depth, and a little bit more in detail about it on the live stream that took place a couple days ago. But there was like six weeks worth of cleaning, and then, like I said, I took the week off for remodel work, where I got shower installed, I got a bathroom remodeled, I got walls mudded and painted. I'm currently working on building a pantry that's custom sized, and I got my living room relocated and everything. So it was a long journey, and I'm super excited to show you guys what that all looks like. I feel like I completely skipped over something. Yeah. Oh well. If I did, I was about to say it and then completely dropped it off the face of the earth. You guys can say something about it in the comments. But here is a live stream that took place a couple days ago, where I go more in depth and show all the photos and pictures of the before and after of the model that took place. So, and then hopefully after this, we can go back into like having the regular monthlies for the VODs. Not much is really going to be changing for the most part, other than like I'm going to have this go up today, being April Fool's. So this isn't a joke. I am coming back again. I'm not dead. I've just been super busy with life. But I got my birthday coming up. We're going to go see the Mario Galaxy movie tonight, and then I got birthday dinner tomorrow, and everything else is just kind of like free floating. There's not a whole lot going on. Hopefully, come the May cycle for the lawnmower vlog, I can show you guys what the pantry looks like and get that kind of cleaned up a little bit. So that should cover everything then. So this is going to be, like I said, the clip from a couple days ago for the Twitch stream. So enjoy it. I hope you guys like it. Let me know what you think of all the remodel work. It was a lot of work. Just a small team of me, my 2 roommates, and my sister. With it being anywhere between the 2 to all 4 of us at any given point in time during a 10-day stretch. So it was a lot of work, but it looks so fucking good. I'm so happy with the bathroom, and I hope you guys like seeing what it looked like before. I'm trying to process all my stuff because I didn't think about this ahead of time. We're going to first, what we're going to do is we're going to watch the old warehouse tour video that I had made a couple years ago, or a year ago at this point. We're going to look at photos of the before pictures before I did the remodel. We're going to look at pictures of some of the progress pictures that I have. I don't have a whole lot of progress pictures. I just have like a couple. And then we are going to look at all the final stuff. There's only a few things I didn't get done. Technically, one thing I didn't get done, plus some cleanup stuff. But I mean, for the most part, I got a lot accomplished off of my list for my remodel, and everything looks great. Some things look even better than I originally anticipated, and I'm super excited about that. I think what I'll do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'll start with I'll turn the volume down for the music. That way it's still going. I know this is gonna pull up the first picture, but let me do this, and we'll go here first. So we're just gonna speed scroll through this a little bit. Let me We're gonna okay. Ooh, ow. Alright. So this was from a year ago. So this would have been I did this for Christmas. So Christmas of 2024 is where we're looking at for this. So yeah, it's been a year and 3 months roughly. I'm just gonna mute the audio. We don't need to hear any of that shit. As part of the remodel, I didn't touch anything in here. I didn't touch anything in the shipping office. So it still looks like a mess. Right? It's still kind of cluttered, still kind of messy. It is what it is. What I did focus on more was more of the stuff to the left, going to the right or to the left first. Going over here. I didn't mess anything within here, but up right there. There's a brown door back here. Goes to what we used to dub the creepy room. It has now been dubbed the storage room. One of the photos that I'll show is that I kind of cleaned out that back room a little bit. It's a room that I tried doing a ventilation project that failed. I tried to get the old fan in there to work. Ended up spending like $1,000 and ended up burning up two motors. And I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just not going to deal with that anymore, and just kind of gave up on that idea of trying to vent out all the hot air out of the building through that room. So that was unfortunate. But the gray door, that's kind of a sliver you can see, that's actually the utility closet. That's where like the HVAC system is and where the old hot water heater was. That is now, it's actually a year and 3 months to the day. Oh, fuck. You're right, it is. I didn't think about that. That is uncanny timing. That is what we call complete coincidence. I did not do that intentionally. But it no longer houses the water heater, the old one anyway, because that got thrown away. And it now houses the shower that we finally got built. This. Okay, back here. So as part, let me go back here. So I didn't do anything with this area. For the most part, like these shelves over here, there's like 3 shelves here that you can't see too well. I got those tore down. All this on the back wall is still the same. These shelves over here, I actually got these 3 shelves tore down as well. Well, actually, I think I got these 2 short ones tore down, and then there's like a short one back here behind this one of this pile of white boxes that I tore down. And then I took this one that has those white boxes and I turned it sideways. That's what I ended up doing. But not a whole lot happened as far as the remodel for the back area. It was more focused on, oh god, yeah, I threw away a lot of boxes. I spent about 6 weeks worth of cleaning, of throwing shit away, like going through my stuff, going through cardboard, throwing shit away that I didn't need anymore, before, in preparation of the remodel. Otherwise I would have had to buy 3 roll-off dumpsters. I ended up having to buy 2 roll-off dumpsters in the process. So we got the big middle area. We got the shower there that's finally installed. We can see this in all its glory of so much shit piled up to the ceiling. And then this is going into my room. We'll skip all this. And then, oh, and she still had, my roommate still had her fish tanks back then. But all this, the kitchen, this countertop had just been put in. The mobile dishwashing station. I have a GF now? Oh, you have a girlfriend now. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Lilac. I'm happy for you. But got all this. Let me. What's a good? Actually, I think it's more towards the end. That'll give a better representation of this. If I kind of skip through here towards the end, didn't do anything with the front. So as this like starts walking away, this will help kind of give a little bit of reference for like how much stuff is in here, right? How much crap is in here. So this will now, now that I've kind of given the preview tour a little bit, we're going to look at all the photos now. Photos that how do I want to do this? I want to do this, not that one, this one. Okay, here. So as part of the cleanup and stuff, right? Close this. This pulled up, so you can kind of see a little bit that I got the one shelf rotated, like I said. I got some of the shelves tore down a little bit. Not a whole lot happened. This was part of the 6 weeks of cleaning leading up to the week that I took off, because I took the 15th through the 22nd off. Excuse me. To do the remodel and cleanup work. So this was like the Saturday before. This is like where I was at. By the end of it, I made sure to like number these. You guys can't see it, but I have these all numbered so I can kind of put these in order the way I want to like showcase these off, so I don't have to like keep skimming back and forth through all of them. These are all the shelves that I tore down. Now, to explain this a little bit, this pile, like, this is roughly about, I want to say 5'10", between 5'10" and 6'2", somewhere in that range is how tall this shelf is, right? These shelves, not all of these are one. So like the whole, how do I say this? The whole dimension of this is 4 by 8. So that is like a sheet of plywood, right? But not all these are the full sheets. Like these top 3 are a full sheet. These ones below it are halves because a lot of these are cut in half, so they're 2 foot by 8 foot, and each shelf had 4 shelves to a set of legs. So I'm trying to see. So like this one right here, I believe is a full one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's one shelf. 1, 2, 3. Well, actually, all these short ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 3 shelves. And if we just said 1, 2, 3, 4 right in there, that's 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. 9. Took about 10 or 11 shelves down so far, and I have 3 more to go. I got 3 more shelves to tear out. Oh, double clicked. No? Oh, just. So here's another picture of that big area, right? So we got all this shit in here. This was, again, I had started some of this a little bit. You can kind of tell compared to the video, I have some stuff moved around. Like this is over here. The one shelf that was here is gone. So like a little bit has been started, but not a lot. So the Saturday before, this is where I was at. This is the amount of progress that was done after day 1. So after Sunday, maybe after Monday, we were at this point. So we got all these shelves tore down and all these shelves tore down and removed. Most of this stuff cleaned up. Still don't have the shower in yet because Sunday took the entire day worth of cleaning. It was only supposed to be like half a day of cleaning. It took the entire day, which was unfortunate, but it is the way it is. By Tuesday, this is how much we had cleaned up. We had everything cleaned up, moved out of the way or up against the wall for the time being. Those are the panels that got used in the bathroom for the remodel. It's a lot more open, a lot less clutter compared to all that. So in just like a couple days, massive progress. Massive progress. And this is what it looks like now. So I still got like some cleanup to do. I got some stuff I got to put away because I got to get my tools figured out. But looking much cleaner. Yeah, I got the gym mat moved over. I got the punching bag hung up. And my favorite part, I got this wall painted for the projector. And you can't tell it, but I have a sound bar that I have actually hung up in this like 8-inch border on the top. And I had just run the electric right before taking this photo, so that way the power for the projector goes into the ceiling again, and the extension cord down to this base behind the couch has power again. And I have another outlet in the ceiling up against the wall where it's painted for the sound bar to have its power. So it's looking more and more like a theater. And the last like 3 or 4 days, I have been using it a lot. I have been sitting in my recliner. I've been watching some anime and passing out in my recliner and waking up at like 2 or 3 in the morning and then crawling into bed. And then I got a little bit of drywall to put up here, but I'm not worried about that at this point. I'm going to get this wall. This whole wall right here is about 40 feet long by 9 feet tall. The choice was to potentially have it painted, but I was like talking with my roommates about it and was like, hey, if I paint this wall whatever color we choose, right? How big is the warehouse to live in? About 60 feet by 120 feet roughly. That's like between 8,500 and 10,000 square feet, somewhere in that ballpark. But I was like, if we paint this whole wall one color, it's going to make the whole space feel that color. Whether we painted it blue, purple, tan, whatever, it's going to make it feel more that color. 60 by 120 feet? Yes. And I know it's 60 feet wide because I had to run 60 feet of trench outside last year to try to help with the drainage. And I got to redo the drain that I put in last year. So I got to do that this summer. But when you look at that for like the internal walls and stuff, internal wall to internal wall is about 58 feet. So there's about, that's 7,200 square feet? Close enough. But still, it's a very big space. But I told him it's going to make the whole room feel that color, right? And so what I'm going to do instead is, I came up with the idea is I'm going to get it smooth finished, have a nice smooth wall to work with. I'm going to paint it by hand. I'm going to paint a mural. I'm going to be Da Vinci. I'm going to paint the Sistine Chapel, right? But it's going to be my wall. But I'm not going to paint whatever the fuck he painted on the ceiling. I'm going to paint the Last Supper. I'm going to draw it by hand. I'm going to paint the Last Supper on that wall. But it's going to be a parody of the Last Supper. So I'm going to have different anime characters and different video game characters in place of like Jesus and his 12 disciples, with yours truly taking the place of Jesus on the wall. And it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be hilarious. It's going to be a great centerpiece for this room. It's going to take me like 6 to 12 months to do at some point whenever I get it all figured out. But when I do, it's going to look awesome. And I gotta fix all this freaking cable management nonsense. I'm not for sure I'm gonna fix that. I think I might have to try running it through the ceiling, and I don't want to do that. I hate dealing with my ceiling because it's all that insulation I'm allergic to, and it just makes me break out in hives. Oh. Da Vinci didn't paint. What? I don't remember who painted the Sistine Chapel. I just remember someone painted the Sistine Chapel and painted the ceiling. It's been a long time since I've been in school. You forget this. I haven't been in school and learned that shit in a decade. It hasn't been needed to be known for more than a decade. So, if he painted it, I say he painted it. And if he didn't paint it, I still say he painted it. But this was a lot of where the the cardboard I had thrown away came from over my 6 weeks of cleaning. But now I surprised my roommates with something that I didn't tell them I was going to get. Why is this not? There we go. I got a washing machine. Michelangelo paid it. With help, of course. Okay. Michelangelo. That's fair. But I surprised my roommates with a washing machine. I told them I was trying to get so much other stuff done. I didn't tell them in my budget I had planned for a washing machine. So this is a 2-in-1 washing machine, and I got to get it registered within like 60 days of purchase or whatever, so I can get like a $50 credit on my electric bill. So I got to do that at some point this week, just so I can get that done and over with. I mean, $50 is $50. But this is a 2-in-1 ventless washer dryer combo, which means it plugs into any 120 volt regular outlet, plugs into a regular outlet. That's a 20 amp circuit. And apparently, because it's ductless, I don't have to worry about venting the duct, but I do have to keep extra maintenance on it. I got to keep track of the lint buildup on the back side of it where it has its open vent. And I also have to keep track of the lint inside, because instead of having a lint trap, some of the lint will just build up around the gasket, around the door, which is different. I didn't think that would be a thing with this type of unit, but I guess it is. So that's something I have to like keep track of. We haven't used it yet, but we also only do laundry like once a month. So, and we had just done laundry not that long ago. But I'll probably use it at some point this, not necessarily tonight, but at some point, probably over the weekend, just to like wash my work clothes with a quick 15-minute cycle or whatever. But this area is looking a lot cleaner. This is that storage room I was talking about. That was dubbed the creepy room. I've got all these conduit lines from the old system that was in here before. And I didn't want to cut them out in fear of being shocked, even though most of the breakers are shut off, but also not knowing where these go, and that causing an issue down the line. So I just left these long poles of conduit just sticking in the middle of the room for now. Maybe I'll do something about it in the future, but for right now, they're just going to stay there. But after the shelves we tore down, we rebuilt some of them to fit in this space, so that way my roommates could have some storage space, and my sister could have some storage space here for what stuff she didn't want to take home. So that's kind of just what this is. I got some extra stuff in here that I gotta move around and make room for other stuff yet, but It's originally I wanted to have two of these 8-foot long shelves along one wall, but apparently the room is smaller than what I was hoping. It ended up being like, I want to say like 13 feet wide in length by like 8.5 feet. So it was a lot smaller than what I was hoping for. But we made do with 3 shelves instead of getting like 5 or 6 in there. Which, like I said, isn't that big of a deal. We made do with what we got. This is our super long hallway. You can see where the drywall ends and the OSB begins. And that's to my roommate's door that they have left open in the hallway. But this will go all the way down from the bathroom to the front third of the building. The goal for this was just to paint this one side on the right hand side. We had talked about painting over on the left as well, but we gotta rip out all this like electrical stuff from the sound system from before, and we didn't do it because I just wanted to see how the one wall would look. And this is how that one wall looks. It makes a bit of a difference. It's not as yellow. It definitely feels more white in here now. I was told that if once we paint the other side, it'll make the hallway feel very long. And that's okay, I guess. I mean, it'll be fine. But I do definitely want to get this wall painted white to match a little bit. Just like part of it, not all of it. But like I said, we got to rip out this old sound system from the speakers. Ripped out first before painting this section of OSB. But it did brighten up the hallway quite a bit, so I was happy with that. And this all this is just primer. This isn't even like a second coat of white. This is just primer on it. So if we wanted to paint whatever else, we could. And because it's got the primer on it, that means it shouldn't soak into the wood as much as it did originally. Here's a good photo. This was at the start of the week, like how most of these before photos are, where we had the living room set up before, we had the projector all the way back here, shining onto the wall next to the fridge that you can barely see. The dishwasher setup that wasn't in the warehouse tour video that I had built last year around this time. So that's the other thing, is like the biggest difference is that 2 years ago I didn't have hot water. Last year around this time was the first time I had hot water in about 3 or 4 years. And now that I have a shower built, is the first time I've had a shower at home in about 4 or 5 years. So this remodel project was a big deal to me. But I've got these shelves cleared off. Actually, if I just flip to the next page. There we go. This kind of shows more of like where the living room stuff was before. I had this table here because I was painting the mirror. I had painted it before, painted the border for it gold, but we decided to go with silver instead. So I got that painted, and that's hung up currently. But these shelves are cleared out. They're ready to be removed. And the plan for, I'm going to build it in this open area, but I got to build the pantry yet. That pantry is going to sit right over in this corner. It's going to be 100 inches tall. So it's going to be, I'm going to have about 5 inches of clearance from the ceiling. And it's got special custom doors that I have not talked with any of you guys about. I will probably actually save that talk for whenever it's built and I can showcase that, because that was a very fun time and a very interesting time with me getting the door panels for the custom built pantry. Oh man, was that a fun time. That was a very interesting time, and it was a very long day, but it was a very well spent day. It was very well spent. But a lot of this stuff needs to go in that pantry. So I just haven't made time to make the pantry yet. Because out of everything that I wanted to get done, The pantry is the only thing that I did not get done. I got literally everything else on my checklist completed. The pantry was the only thing I did not get done. This is that utility closet I was talking about. We got the shower in here. The shower was a pain in the ass. Okay. Shower was an absolute freaking disaster to deal with. Because it was too wide to fit through this doorway. So we tried it a couple of different ways, couldn't get it to fit through this doorway into this utility closet. So we had to take it all the way down the other side of the building and go through this hallway. We brought it all the way through this hallway into the bathroom, and then it still wouldn't fit. We had to take the door off. We took the door off the hinges. It still wouldn't fit. We took the door jambs off, and we tried to save the door jambs, and some of the nails were just not cooperating. So we just said fuck it, and we just ripped the door jambs out, and I went ahead and just bought a new bathroom door. But once we got it in the doorway, because the rough opening was 34 inches, it barely squeezed through. There was like a piece of paper thin margin of error for it to get through. We get it inside, and then the toilet gets in the way. We try like rolling it up, trying to like tilt it, trying to get it to go through and get it closer, and then it still won't go through. I start turning the toilet. I turn the toilet like 45 degrees and still can't get it in. I'm just like, we're like so close, and I just say fuck it, and I yanked real hard on the shower, and I broke the toilet. I didn't realize how bad I had broke the toilet until like a couple days after the fact. I broke it in a way where let me do this. It'll be easier if I explain it this way. Give me MS Paint. Open. Okay. If I do this, hold on. Where is dark mode? There we go. This, and then there. We'll do that, just so that way it doesn't hurt anyone's eyes as bad. Pink. There we go. So say a thicker brush than that. Brush. Okay. Say this is your toilet, right? And I'm gonna do it like this because there's your toilet bowl, and then there's like a thing here and a thing here. Those are like the bolts that go into your toilet tank, right? There's your toilet tank. You have like two bolts that go in here to like tie it down. Okay. And then there's like a hole here that the little flapper thing inside sits on for it to like push the water through. I broke this in a way that looks like this. So if I have this here, and this here, I broke this like this. I broke it in about that. Actually, let me do that in a different color. We'll go with red. I broke it in that fashion. Okay. So I'm like, all right, I can use some silicone. I can fix that. So I take some silicone and I patch it up. Not the greatest, but I get it done. I let it sit for a couple hours. I put the tank back on, and I'm like, will this hold water? And it holds water. It holds water really well. Till I go to flush it. It holds water. How do I do this? Go like this. So there's that. And then we'll just do we'll do that. So there's that. You got your little flapper thing here, right? And I'm like, I had it almost just right, but like every time you go to flush the toilet, it just comes out right underneath and just hits the wall. Straight up hits the wall, and then it just like falls down. It doesn't, like, all the water like just shoots out, but it shoots out very little. It probably shoots out, I don't know, how would I quantify it? Maybe like 20 ounces, maybe about 20 ounces of water per flush. So almost a quarter of a gallon, I think. I want to say about a quarter gallon of water every time you flush, which doesn't look like a lot, but over time that adds up quite a bit. But there's how I broke that toilet. And then this, bring this back up. And then bathroom also ate up 5 days instead of 3 days because we kept having issues with our connections here and our connections to the hot water itself. It kept like dripping enough to where it wouldn't just have a tight seal. And we tried so many times to get the pipe tape to work and cooperate, and it just would not cooperate no matter how hard we tried. And I said, fuck it. And I got some PVC weld. You can kind of see a little bit of purple here and there, but I put weld on all 4 of these connections. And then I eventually was able to find a pipe fitting with a rubber gasket on it. And I was able to use that for the hot water heater instead. So we got that. And there's also this little T-piece here with this hose bib. This is for the hot water line because apparently when we got the hot water line hooked up, right? Okay. So we hooked up the hot water line and we're like, "Oh, let's test it out. Let's make sure all of our connections are good." And we turned on the water. And we're like, okay, all the shark bites look good. We have the drips where we know we have the drips at for the shower connection and the hot water heater connections. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the wall starts spewing water out the bottom. And we don't know why. So we go ahead and shut the water off and we like look. And we're trying to figure it out. We're like, which line is it? The only line we reconnected was the hot water line. So it had to be the hot water line that was wrong with it. And I'm like looking at it real close and I can see water coming out. And I'm like, okay, it must be a busted pipe or something. Or something. We don't know for sure exactly. So I just take the saws on and I start cutting. And I cut up like 6 inches. We look, nothing. I cut up about another 6 inches. It like junctions off into like a different thing. Can I do a different thing? I do like this. There we go. This. This. That one. Okay. We're doing a lot of painting today. We're gonna do a lot of painting. Okay. So here's our wall. Right. Here's our we'll do this actually. Here's our hot water line. Here's our cold water line. Here's our drain pipe. And like water's coming out of the hot water line. I like cut up, and like we notice that the hot water line is going up. So it goes up, but then all of a sudden it goes up and tees off as well, right? It goes up and tees off. So I was like, fine, I'll cut around that as well. So I go back down and I cut, and then I like come over. I come over, and it's like, oh, it goes back up again. So it goes up. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just cut up a whole bunch. And I'm like, I'll cut. And I was like, go, 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 go. And so I cut up. And I cut up about 18 inches, roughly. And then all of a sudden, this stops, but this keeps going. So we figured out what the problem was. And I like cut this out a little bit. In about, let me do yellow here. Right in this spot, way up here, the line was busted. It had a hole busted out of it. So I had to cut out that section and then put a cap on it. Actually, it had a cap on it, so I think I just put a coupling in. I think that's what I did. So I had this whole like big section cut out. It was only, like I said, this was probably only like 18 inches by like 4 inches. There we go. This is about what I cut out. I didn't have anything to do with that, but we did that. We got that fixed. Then we tried again. And then everything was fine. Not that. This. Everything was fine. However, the hot water line has buildup in it. So when we would turn the hot water line on for the sink, there would be no water pressure at all. The cold water had plenty of pressure. The hot water line does not. So I put this hose bib connection on. Because I'm going to have to get a sump pump, which I do have one. But I'm going to have to get a bucket of vinegar, like a 5 gallons of vinegar, and pump it into the hot water heater and through the hot water line and let that run for an hour or whatever. And let that clear out the hot water line so we can get hot water pressure back in the old copper lines. Otherwise, I'd have to replace the lines, and it's already too late for that. I'm not tearing any of the walls out to do that. It's not worth it. But, and then there's a light switch over here on the left. I got that's what the yellow line is for. I got it ran to this light so that we can have light in here again. Now, here is the piece de resistance. Here is the big project that took all fucking week to do. The bathroom. You guys have never seen my bathroom before. There's probably been like on Instagram where I've seen like showed a little bit of it. I haven't shown a whole lot of it. But because there's like termite damage, it's ugly, it's half blue, it's half white, it's all old tile. My beautiful mirror that I saved from the house and had painted gold to look nice. My vanity that's falling apart. The old toilet before it was broken. And there's like disgusting like cream colored countertop. Right? This bathroom is like what you'd find at a truck stop in the middle of bumfuck nowhere, right? Where all the truckers go to use it and no one ever takes care of it. It's like a Circle K bathroom, right? It's awful, but it gets the job done, right? Here is like a couple pictures of us tearing out the walls and the ceiling. It's not very good because we had no lights to see what we were doing. But there's all that, all the debris on the floor, us ripping everything out. Not a whole lot to go off of. That is 17. Alright. But yeah. Unfortunately, there's not much more I can really show as far as progress pictures because, like I said, most of it after this part, everything went. The issue with like getting the shower moved in and getting the base set up and everything, all just kind of happened in a blur in a single day, and it kind of happened pretty quickly. But here's the door. This door just came in this morning. I was not expecting this door for another like 2 or 3 days, and it came in early. So we got this door put in. just a pine door, whatever, got a handle for it. And apparently I fucking suck at hanging doors because I couldn't get the fucking thing to lock properly. Because I always fuck up when hanging doors. So it doesn't have the little metal guard, it just goes straight into the wood. And it was like off a little bit, so I had to take a chisel and kind of chisel out some extra space for the door to actually latch shut a little bit. But I'm kind of thinking of painting this wall white, maybe. I need to get trim around this door because there is a big gap right here that you can kind of see inside the bathroom with, that I'm not a big fan of. So I want to get that covered up as soon as possible. But here we go. Here is the bathroom. Boom. This is looking towards the door, obviously. But we got this rustic wood look. We have some blue-gray shiplap looking stuff. We have the painted mirror that is now silver instead of gold. We got a little towel rack holder. We got a brand new thing with lights. Brand new base vanity cabinet with sink. This looks like you went into like some sort of like 3-star restaurant. This looks really, really nice. This looks phenomenal. I'm very happy with how this turned out. Now, for the other side, it actually showcases everything. And also, the fucking drop ceiling pissed me off. I thought this drop ceiling was going to be super easy, and it was not. It was... I hated doing this, and I never want to do another drop ceiling again in a day in my life. But here we go. Here's it from the other angle, with the brand new toilet that was also put in this morning. We got a little trash can. We have a block step up. This is I believe, well, it's a 2x12, so it is, see, that's 11.5, and then the extra 1.5 inch, yeah, so it's about a 12-inch step up into the tub. So, and then we got a little bit more of the rustic wood in the back. We got tension rod in the corner. We got the vent for this. And the thing is, here with the bathroom is still the same width, roughly. It's about 50, no, not 50, 67 inches, because the shower itself is 60, it's 5 feet wide, and then these little end pieces are about 3.5. Yeah, so it's 67 inches wide. Now here's the thing. Where this ends right here, this bend, and then is like in front of the shower, that is where the bathroom used to end before. When it was this wall is right at the front of the face of the shower. So I've made the bathroom longer by the width of the shower to make it work, but also because I had to have the shower raised up so I could make the drain for it go into the floor drain. That also meant that I had to raise up all my paneling and raise the drop ceiling high enough to where it would go over the shower head. And so by doing that, I had to get these like 1x8s to give me that extra 7 inches I needed to bring them up off the floor to hide the trim. Well, hide the fact that they're not like on the ground for the trim. So not only did I make it longer by however many inches, say 36 inches or whatever, I also made this bathroom taller by about between 7 and 8 inches. I made it taller. So it is a very very strenuous process to have done this. I have not totaled everything up, but I do know I have spent about $6,000 this past week, because I also had $1,000 repairs on my truck done as well. So really, I've spent about $5,000 on all the remodel stuff up to this point. because that's getting the bathroom done, all the painting stuff done, and buying the materials needed to start on the pantry, and just haven't built the pantry yet. But that is everything that I got done. I also did like a Google Doc sheet to kind of like showcase it, because the AGM, not my store manager, but the manager above him, his boss, would not hire me unless if I got my shower situation at home figured out and taken care of. I told him I was going to have it built back in October, and then October happened and didn't happen, and because I didn't have enough money on my credit card to start the remodel process and get the shower built and everything. I had to wait till I got that paid off a little bit. And then I was like, all right, I'm in a position where I can do this. So I was like, I need a week off to do all this. And they're like, okay, you got a week, get it done. And so I have a Google Doc set up with all my before and after pictures that I emailed to him. I emailed to my store manager, and he's going to email it to his boss for him to look at on his own time. So there is that. So that way he can stop asking me when I'm going to get my shower built and asking why it's not done. So, but yeah, it's been super awesome to finally have this done and over with. And like I said, I think my favorite part about this whole process is not only having the bathroom looking absolutely amazing compared to this trash, but also having my theater wall. My theater wall is so fucking awesome. But as always, try to have a better day than yesterday, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.